You ask all my teammates, the one thing about Michael Jordan was he never asked me to do something that he didn't fucking do. When people see this, they're going to say, well, he wasn't really a nice guy. He may have been a tyrant. Oh, well, that's you, because you never won anything. You ask all my teammates, the one thing about Michael Jordan was he never asked me to do something.
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The thoughts, views shared here are just that, views. We just conversing, sharing perspective while having fun. So don't take this shit personal, and definitely don't try this at home. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's get to it.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
What's poppin' with y'all on this beautiful day? 90 degrees today here in the 704, man. It was blazing, big dog. But you know, that's a wonderful thing, man. We have been dealing with the blizzard, the cold and stuff for a long time. And now that sun coming back out, those cherry blossoms is acting like they want to come out, the dogwoods and all of that. It's starting to become green again. And, you know, life is good. But first of all, before I get into the conversation and the commentary, I want to give a shout out to a few cities that's been showing me a lot of love. And the first city I want to acknowledge is New York City. You know, y'all been holding me down. The people that's been viewing my channel, 75% of them been from New York City. Let me give y'all a round of applause, real talk. You know, all the other places that's been showing love, Philadelphia, D.C., Charlotte been showing love, you know, Los Angeles, Texas, Dallas, Houston, all of those cities within Texas been showing love, tapping into the hip hop commentary and things like that. And I just appreciate y'all. Let me give y'all a round of applause also. I can't forget Baltimore and Philadelphia also. They've been showing plenty love to Jersey, you know, Jersey City. I see y'all naming the analytics, but you know, New York City been holding me down. Real talk, real talk, real talk. You know, on this episode, we got a few conversations that I want to discuss. You know, J. Cole came back outside and had an interview for the first time in close to 3 years. Jay-Z is coming back outside with, you know, some performances. He's going to be at the Roots Picnic. He's going to be performing at Yankee Stadium a couple of times. Are y'all going? You know, it's interesting to me because Reasonable Doubt, that's one of my favorite albums ever. That's his debut. That's a classic. You know, The Blueprint, that was the era in my life where it was a lot of highs around that time in 2001. You know, that album was released on 9/11. It's just my favorite hip hop song of all time is on The Blueprint. It's just, you know, which show would y'all go to? The Blueprint show or the Reasonable Doubt show, or would y'all go to both of them? We're going to dive deep into that also. We got to talk about, you know, Cam and Mace and Shyne and Ray J and Brandy responding to the foolishness that was going on. Future kids almost being, you know, kidnapped. That was just a crazy situation I seen this week that was extremely viral. I got some political conversations I want to discuss also. And, you know, I got one more topic I'm trying to find it. Oh, T.I. T.I. addresses Ray Daniels. And, you know, it was interesting. Justin Timberlake, his DUI, we're going to look over some footage, some body cam footage. We're going to see him, you know, speaking, wanting favoritism and things like that. We're going to get to it, though. We're going to get right to it. But you know how we do on every episode. We got to create the vibe. We got to create the energy. We got to make sure that everybody tapped in. They got some music in their ears and they're ready to get to it. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't got no problems. Only opportunities for growth. Life is a what? Fuck a missionary, squeeze a dough. I'm in the cut, cooking up 100 keys of dope. On the wave, make the federale seize the boat. Shout to Lionel Messi, he's the GOAT. Only started watching weeks ago. Why they never told me soccer was lit? Thought it was only for crackers and shit. Taught me to dribble a rock and that's it. Compared to what that boy and Bob they be getting, these rapping ass niggas is not even rich. Why they don't put a little bitch in the hood? Why they go smash that little bitch in the wood? Why they try cancel a nigga like me? I would think they could see my intentions was good. Been a long time since my mentions was good. I need to catch up on Richard and Morty. Last night this hater tried walking my section. Low key I miss giving dick to his shorty. Don't blow it up, this is just a recording. My mind's like a crime scene and I'm just reporting. Sometimes I feel like ain't shit left to say when I'm 10 projects in and now I'm over 40. Maybe I told every story, maybe they don't wanna hear me no more. Fuck them little sympathy Grammys, you niggas try hear me, bitch, don't even give me no war. Put me right back on that list that had Pac and Biggie by Marley, Snoop Dogg and the Locks. And niggas like that who ain't never get props. I'm watching this Vlad interview with Young Jock. He talking, explaining his fallout with Block. Someone call my phone so the video stops. I let it ring out, dog, it don't make no sense. I never pick up, can't these niggas take hits? Stop hitting me, please, I don't wanna be friends. I barely hang out with the ones that I have. Can't go to the club and chase bitches no more. Once that went away, then damn, what did we have? I don't want a record company staff. I'm an artist, not a boss, you know. People love to take the credit for wins, quick to blame you for the losses, though. KG with the Boston trophy, screaming anything is possible.
You know, Cole was announcing that he was retiring just in the interview this week. He had been talking about this was his last album, this double disc that he has been working on for over a decade. And he came back out and popped out on Mike Will Made It album. I think, you know, all of these rappers talking about retirement is big cap, dog. T.I. talking about To Kill the King is his last project. 2 Chainz talking about this up-and-coming project from him is his last project also. I think it's all cap. Now, as if y'all haven't noticed on the channel, my channel has grown significantly due to me reacting to albums. Now, I need y'all help, though, to be honest with y'all. Tell me what y'all want me to react to. I listened to Baby Keem's album, and I felt like if I don't got nothing positive to say, don't say nothing at all. It's some records on there, but I'm going to be speaking negatively more than I'm going to be speaking positively, so I really don't want to do that. I listened to Mike Will Made It album also as of this week. He got some big boy features on there. He got Young Thug on there. He got 21 Savage on there. He got T.I. and Dro on there. He got a lot of people on there. He got Sway Lee, Ludacris. You know, we just heard the J. Cole record. But what I want to say is that his production was great on there, but they was rapping like they was just giving him raps. They wasn't giving him hits. And I would have had more negative things to say than I had positive to say. So I didn't react to it at all. You know, the only album I reacted to in 2026 so far is J. Cole album. When are the niggas that's really spitting and trying to, you know, move the culture forward going to start dropping heat? I'm looking forward to the heat, man. When the heat coming out? You know, I feel like Jay-Z is going to change the direction of the culture. I think that he sees what's going on. You know, as of recently, they created the distribution company, Rock Nation, like DistroKid and a few other places where you can upload your music and, you know, get it put on streaming services. So I feel like Jay-Z is plotting and planning something by doing these Roots picnics, by coming back out, popping back out, doing his 30-year anniversary to Reasonable Doubt, and his 25th anniversary to The Blueprint. So, you know, we're going to get into some commentary from DJ Academics saying this is the reason why Jay-Z is coming back out. And then we're going to get into the prices of the tickets and all of that and what they saying the shows is going to be, because I got a few articles I want to read and pull up to y'all. Let's get to it, though. Let's get right to it.
They wanted Jay. So they said, you know what? Jay, you did all this shit. If you could do it again, the billions that you and Beyonce are going to spend is going to be astonishing. He tries to convince people that having a casino that usually attracts degenerates, crime, drug dealing, and other things was good for the people there. But this was the first time Jay-Z lost. What's the fallout? Rock Nation, and to a certain extent, people associated with him feel like it's the bad press that came from an accusation with Diddy and other brewing questions about Jay. So Jay essentially may have lost out on $1 billion opportunity because niggas is talking shit. They then dropped the Epstein files, and Jay-Z's name is in it yet again. But if you keep hearing one person's name around a hotbed of fuckery, at some point you're going to be like, so nigga, you hang with all smokers and you never caught a secondhand high? The rumors are growing. Jay-Z is a master at this. When Kanye attacked him, he said nothing. No statements, no nothing. We've seen how he moved in rap. He did it subliminal. He did it through indirect disses. He never overplayed or showed his hand. Very smart. After the Epstein thing, just like how people believe, and I agree with y'all. Yeah, U.S. started focusing on Iran. Like, oh, wait, stop focusing on Epstein. Yo, we bombed these niggas over here. Great diversion tactic, but we got to acknowledge Jay-Z with his diversion tactic. The diversion tactic is you're going to see some stuff from Jay that's going to make you forget all about the nasty things you've heard him being accused of. Jay-Z announces he will be headlining the Roots Picnic. That wasn't it, though. 2 days later, we get the announcement that Jay-Z also announced 2 other shows. Their album anniversary shows at Yankee Stadium. Interesting.
You know, a lot of these commentators that's on social media or just on radio or big platforms, they seem like they are advocates for Jay-Z. And me personally, I'm just a person that likes the music. I likes the business moves. I like, the creativity and the art. I don't have no ties to the human being. You know, Jay-Z is a person that has inspired me lyrically, picking production, having a team, creating clothing brands and all types of things. But I would be lying to myself to say that a lot of allegations has came up in these last 2 years that's spooky. Real talk. For him being tied with Diddy and the young girl coming out, even though he beat that, public perception is still a mother. Also, his name being mentioned in the Epstein files, which seemed like some complete foolishness also. Him losing the casino bid. It seemed like it's been continuous L's as of recently. And getting back to the root of what people liked him for is something that I feel like is necessary if he wants to clean up his public perception. Because there's people out here that just ain't on your payroll or on your team. They see the nastiness. Now, we get ready to get into this article and see what's going on, and we're going to check out some ticket prices because I feel like, that's an event that I might want to attend. And see what this is saying. This is according to Variety.com. Jay-Z to celebrate Reasonable Doubt and the Blueprint anniversaries with back-to-back Yankee Stadium concerts. Jay-Z is planning to celebrate the anniversaries of 2 of his most celebrated albums, Reasonable Doubt and the Blueprint, with back-to-back concerts at the Yankee Stadium this summer. The rapper will honor the 30th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt with a show on July the 12th, followed by a second show celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Blueprint. On July 11th, the announcement of the Yankee Stadium shows comes amid speculation that he was plotting major moments pegged to the anniversaries over the past few months. What's the major moment going to be? Just yesterday, Jay-Z was named as a headliner for the Roots Picnic, taking place on May 30th. It will mark his grand return to the stage for the first time nearly a year after popping up as a guest at his wife Beyonce's final international date on her Cowboy Carter tour in Paris. At Roots Picnic 2026, taking place from May the 30th to 31st, Jay-Z will perform alongside the Roots, marking the first time they played together in over a decade. Jay-Z has been on something of a promotional rollout for the anniversaries after fans noticed that his name had been changed to J-A-Y with the hyphen Z on streaming services, calling back to the stylization he used for Reasonable Doubt in the past few weeks. He put the original version of Dead Presidents on streaming and dropped the video for Wishing on a Star featuring Gwen Dickey on YouTube. Rumors have been circulating that Jay-Z has been working on a new album, as several of his collaborators hinted at it during recent interviews. Rapper Cash Cobain had to walk back his claims of a new album on social media after Jay-Z told him he's absolutely not dropping an album anytime soon. So there go the post on Instagram. They said it's 2 historic nights to celebrate his iconic albums. So that's the end of the article. You know, hinting at new music is one thing that I look forward to. The reason I feel like I look forward to him releasing new music is because due to the allegations that everybody is aware of, don't it seem like Jay would have a lot to say right now? Like a whole lot to say. He should have a whole lot of things to discuss. And I feel like dropping an album right now would be great for his career, to be necessary. Even though numbers and stuff right now is kind of spooky in this game. It's just that I'm looking forward to it. What Academics talking about on his show and on his live, that's true. This could all be a rollout. Though, but me personally, I ain't here for the antics. I don't talk about criminal cases and all of that on my channel. I talk about the music, and I'm looking forward to the performances and the music. Once he's convicted of any of those things that people are alleging, then we can have a discussion about it. But until then, I'm looking forward to the creativity, because that's what I appreciate, the art over the human being. You know, I know that may sound nasty just now, the art over the human being, but you know, it's people that get connected to these people and become fanatics of them and things like that, and they start looking stupid. And I ain't getting ready to be that type of individual. Real spill. Salute to JC. Salute to the shows. Are y'all going to the shows? That's my question I posed to y'all in the comment section below. Tap in and tell me what y'all thoughts about that. Are y'all willing to pay that $1,000 ticket to sit in the ceiling? Real talk. Let's move along in the conversation, though. You know, J. Cole sat down with Nadeska at Apple Music, and he talked about a few things. Now, to me, this album, as time has went by, you know, it's great music on this album. It's great lyricism on this album. But it's kind of like, you know, not that much entertainment on this album. To me, it's more of a earthy type person's vibe. It's J. Cole is one of my favorite rappers of all time. Let me say that first. But to close out on this album would be an interesting career-ending experience. Now, I want to play a clip of him talking about comparisons during this interview, because I got something to say about this. I grew up in a neighborhood where we was competing and comparing, and we was misleading ourselves and not unifying and evolving when we had the opportunity of a lifetime. But let me play this clip and let's get into this conversation.
Why? You know the phrase, like, it's not a new phrase, but it's definitely a true phrase. Like, comparison is the thief of joy. And I realized, I'm like, oh shit. One, I know comparison is the thief of joy from my own personal experience, right? Anytime that I've been in my life growing up and comparing myself to anybody else, what somebody else has, what somebody else does, boom, boom, it's gonna rob me of my joy instantly. So like, I knew that phrase for that. But I realized the internet is like, it's all comparisons, like in the rap space. Mm-hmm. I can only imagine like in some of these other spaces, basketball too, right? In the sports space, it's all, I'm going to put this person versus this person, and we're going to say which of these people is better. And like, it's not just the thief of like that person's joy that you might be talking about. It's actually the thief of everyone's joy, because now I have to pit this person. I have to choose. I have to instantly get like analyze flaws or like boom, or defend the person that I'm on, and it's gonna rob me of the joy of who that person really might be. Yep. Perfect example, like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, is a very simple analogy, but it's like, yo, if I'm a astute Michael Jordan fanatic, you know what I mean? And I feel the need to defend.
You see what he said before I even played that clip. I was talking about appreciating the art over the individual, so that fanatic behavior won't come out. Comparison is the thief of joy is a real thing, because you can't appreciate the present, or you can't appreciate what's in your presence. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comment section down below. But it's going to be people that say he's speaking like that because he bowed out of the beef. You know, I'm one of those type of individuals that I appreciate Drake for what he is. I appreciate Cole for what he is. And I appreciate Kendrick for what he is. They all bring a different element to the game. And the things that I don't appreciate, I might not even talk about them. I don't even care, because it's not even in my realm of caring. But it's a thing in our community, and it's just not in our community. It's a worldly thing. Everybody do it, but I'm aware of it because I pay attention to us the most. But the comparing and the competing, at the end of the day, something has to be done about that. You know, it's always people that think that they're better than you at something, or they want to challenge you at something, or they want to attempt to, make things a sport or a competition. Life too short for all that, dog. As I got older, I started to realize that, I could care less what somebody feel about me, or if you better than me at something, or I'm better than you. It doesn't really make me better than you in totality. It makes me better than you in that area. I understand what he's saying, and I appreciate him for who he is, though. But, will the masses feel that way? Because everybody want to see each other fighting and scratching and the gold and checking out your statistics and your analytics and your numbers. And if you ain't doing numbers, you ain't nothing. That's just an interesting conversation. What do y'all think about that? Comparison is the thief of joy. Let's get into the next clip. Let's go.
That's so crazy.
Yes.
Even before you dropped the fall off on like Birthday Blizzard, you did mention, so like you said, getting back to this point where you felt like passionate again, you mentioned like, look, I felt like that apology dropped me out of the top 3, but the sentiment was now it gives me space to kind of climb back up again on my own terms. Basically, it feels the opposite of what you were going through after Forest Hills Drive, where you were like, man, I'm feeling so comfortable.
Wow, that's right.
I could just get stuck here.
Yes.
And now you're in the opposite spot here.
Yes, that's real. I absolutely felt like that. I was grateful. Like I told you, like once I realized that, like, oh, wait, you're not in love with this shit no more. You about to leave this shit, put out an album in a real whack ass place. And once I caught that and like did something about it and like fell back in love, like actively, I was always grateful because I felt like there was a lesson in it somewhere. I just had to find it. And once I found the lesson and like actually did the work, I was actually grateful for that. Like, oh man, this gives me like a mountain to climb. You know what I mean? It was a point, honestly, doing them, me and Eve used to talk about that. It was a point doing them features, that feature run when I'm just smoking shit and my pen was just on fire. There was a point doing that shit where it didn't even feel too cool because it was like, yo, people that are normally like haters, they didn't have much to say. It was almost like and that felt, honestly, it felt disingenuous a little bit. Like it almost felt like that's not the play. I like to be like up against a wall. You know what I mean? Like I like to be like, my comfortable position is like climbing up a hill. I like being doubted, I like.
The clip had more to say though, but I got the perspective that I wanted to react to and acknowledge for y'all. Appreciating doubt and get into a state when people stop doubting and you get comfortable. That's interesting because we strive for the comfort, but we thrive in the doubt. He said that he was knocked out of the top 3. I don't think he was ever knocked out of the top 3. I don't even think those other 2 brothers really acknowledged the top 3 because I never heard nobody else talk about big 3 but him. He was the only one talking about the big 3. None of them other ones even mentioned the big 3. And Kendrick said, F the big 3, nigga, it's just big me. Cole, something that I learned by watching this interview is that he's an overthinker. And he can overthink. And it's a blessing in that and it's a curse in that. Because you could be thinking too much. And I'm looking forward to this interview that he's going to be doing with Cameron here soon, too. Also, we're going to get into a conversation with Cam and Mace here soon, though. But I'm looking forward to that because it was just announced by Cam that the interview is coming. Cole back outside and the interview coming. But, being doubted is interesting because I don't think nobody care enough to doubt you, or you should care enough about the doubters. When the doubt matters is when you're doubting yourself. That's my take on that. The doubt matters when you start to doubt yourself. Let's get into the final clip from this interview that caught my attention. This is where he talks about Kendrick and Drake.
I did what I did, and I felt light, free, like I had did the right thing for me. You know what I mean? I had made a wrong right. However, like, you know, the world, they don't give a fuck about that. And they fucking me up, like, in terms of, like, you know, they fucking me up, basically, like my name, reputation, boom, boom. And so that was, although, like, you know, the lightness that I felt made it easier to deal with. Over time, I don't know how long that shit lasted. It felt like a very long time, but it was like over time I had to process that shit, and I had to get right, because, you know, of course at the time it felt like the right move, and it always felt like the right move. But there were times where the thoughts of like, damn, nigga, you're fucking done right now. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the world is saying. It's over. You know what I mean? Like that shit, not that it like, it wasn't dominant, but it was in my mind, and it was like, it brought up emotions and fears that I had to like sit with and fight. And so a part of my reaction to that was, oh man, I'm leaving out a critical part of the story. Cause
But you got some of your thoughts out on Port Antonio. That was later that year?
yes, but I'm leaving out a critical part of the story for you in a sense that like you said, I had Mike Dilly later, and I had the fall off ready to go.
Yeah.
And the plan was dropping Mike Dilly later. That shit was Mike Dilly later was always dropping at the spot that it dropped. That was the date it was going to drop, right before Dreamville Fest. Of course, that song 7 Minutes Ago wasn't on it. It was the whole album minus that song. And then I had the fall off coming like 8 weeks later, mind you. So it was like, you know,
Wow.
I had the fall off coming probably like 2 months after that, right? Here's the asterisk next to I had the fall off coming. I was finishing the album. I was on tour with Drake. And if you would have heard me talk about the fall off, probably for the 4 or 5 months prior to almost releasing the album, what you would have heard is me and E both. This is my man. You would have heard us talk about the fall off like this. Man, let's get this shit the fuck out and be done with it.
You know, I got an interesting take on that clip right there, because Cole was right about his pen. He was at his peak doing features with Drake, and he was on tour with Drake, and when he was dropping them feature records with Benny the Butcher, and it was more, I just can't think of him off the top of my head right now, but he was smashing shit. When he dropped the diss record on Kendrick Lamar, it didn't seem as aggressive as it needed to be. It didn't seem like he meant the things that he was saying, but at the end of the day, it was a good record. You know, Might Delete Later was a good record. If he would have came out with the fall off around that time and kept that momentum going, we might have a totally different discussion about J. Cole. He might be up there with the greats right now. And he still is, because, you know, the album that he just did 3 something on the first week, 300 and something. I think it's going to be on its way to going platinum. But to be honest with you, that apology, I can imagine what the meetings was like, what the investors were saying. You know, he'll never tell us those things. It seemed like part of that clip got cut off also. But they pushed the album back, because he said it's supposed to came out 8 weeks later, but they pushed it back to a couple of years later. And they had to let time transpire so people's perception about him could alter. You know, we was just talking about, why is Jay-Z coming back outside? Because of perception. You know, he lost a few deals. He may have lost a couple of $1 billion. When you in that industry, and when you in that system, that financial system that they playing in, perception is everything. Because people buy and they spend their money based upon your perception. I don't want to be too long-winded, and I want to close it out right here, but I think that for who he is as an individual, that apology was great. But for a business deal, for public perception, it was damaging to his career and to the way people viewed him forever. Real talk. Let's move along in the conversation. You know, I was watching Cam and Mace, It Is What It Is, and they had Shyne Poe on. I think Shyne is about to release some new music or a movie. You know, he's representing Belize. I think he's was or is running for the prime minister of the country. Shyne is a legendary artist, and you know, Mace and Shyne was on Bad Boy at the same time with Diddy. And when he came up on the platform, Cameron introduced him, and he seemed like he was excited to have the conversation with him. Let's get to it.
Introducing Shyne.
Poe!
Shyne, what's good?
Shyne from Belize. Pleasure to be here. Poe. Smoking trees in Belize.
What's good, man? This is fire.
Nah,
this is, two bad boy legends. It's crazy. This is crazy. I want to say, can I mind if I say it off?
Yeah.
What happened with Brandy and everything?
Man.
Let's just do it.
Listen.
Let's do it. Who's dealing with Brandy?
Okay, let me switch my glass.
You know what happened?
We going.
There was you was dating Brandy at one time, or y'all was just, how'd it go?
I was special, you know. He came in and wanted to be special. So I had to let him be special.
I mean, no lies told.
Yeah,
he was Shaq.
Okay.
He was the champion. He was the MVP.
Right.
I was Kobe, no pun intended, because they said Kobe was a special friend of Brandy's as well.
Right.
But no pun intended.
Right.
But I was coming out of high school on the championship team, and he was the superstar of the team.
Right.
But I definitely did want to be special. I definitely, but I had no idea. So what happened is we had a mutual friend who was a snitch.
Okay.
So I'm not. I think he know who it is.
Right.
I'm not gonna expose him.
Right.
But so I was so excited because this is my dream person.
Right. Talk about Brandy.
Brandy.
Right.
I'm a poor kid, Brooklyn, watching MTV, watching Moesha.
When I think about that question and that Cameron posed, it made me think of 50 Cent, and he been hanging around 50 Cent too much, trying to get the nasty viral moment. My thoughts of that is that that was 20, 25 years ago, dog. Why you implementing this woman in a conversation from 20, 25 years ago? I thought they was coming there to promote something, like not talk about previous relationships. If there's women watching this clip or this whole podcast in its entirety, I want to know what's y'all thoughts about, like, men discussing a 25-year-old relationship in a podcast. That's when, they start saying that y'all talking tea, that y'all just as messy as the females. And I feel like, personally, I could never do nothing like that. Like, talk about something that is that old. Like, me and you both had a relationship with this woman around the same time, because that's putting out to the world that she, is whatever you perceive her to be, she is. So that's just interesting to me that Cameron would even pose that messiness on the channel, though. But, a few people had to respond to that because, that was nasty work, real spill.
Nigga, all three of y'all is like the Three Stooges, nigga. And y'all looking real attractive. So when I see y'all niggas, y'all better not have that skirt on, nigga. Y'all better pull y'all panties up. You know what I'm saying? For real. I see y'all. I know where y'all at. Y'all be slipping too in Vegas, walking around the wind, acting like y'all winning. Nigga get some money and have to do 5,000 shows. Fucking bitch. Fuck y'all niggas. Hoe ass niggas. Give you a venereal, nigga. Terrible is crazy. Hold on, let me charge the computer. Blood on everything, bro. I give these niggas a venereal disease that they ain't never had before. I tattoo the fuck out these niggas, blood. Bend y'all niggas over, bro. Hit y'all from the back like this, nigga. Fucking punks. Where Bussy Baby? Where Back Shots? Y'all come in and get some too, nigga. Yeah, nigga. Come in and get some of this. Get some of this Cameron ass. Nigga. I will not tolerate it, nigga. And neither will LA. I'm talking about all of Los Angeles, nigga. Everybody out here, nigga. Bloods, Crips, SAs, smokers, crackheads, hoes on figure.
You know, that's crazy to me, like when people be in a successful realm that achieve things and they go back to who they represent, the hood, the streets, the crackheads, the smokers, the hoes, the dope boys. You know, it seemed like you would have gotten yourself away from that by now, Ray J. That's just my thoughts when I listened to him speak or whatever. It was kind of crazy, his response to them discussing his sister on It Is What It Is, Brandy. You know, I feel as if he took it too far. He talking about taking Cam, Mace, and Shyne cheeks. Ever since he called into the Breakfast Club and got the Breakfast Club popping, actually, talking about what he would do to Fabulous, send the booty goons at Fabulous. He went on Candace Owens' show, you know what I'm saying, with a transgender, like speaking like he represents the transgenders and he wants them protected. He got reality TV shows with trannies and homosexuals. It's just weird. Should he come out the closet? He said, get them boys a venereal disease. He'll poke both of them, clap their cheeks. And then he said the gay folk name at the end of it. You know, Ray J, wow, man. I understand, you know, because I would protect my sister. Two niggas that she dated in the 90s talking about her on the internet. Come on, dog. Y'all don't got nothing better to do. I thought y'all was millionaires. Why y'all bringing up the past like that? That is weird, but Ray J did take it too far. And then by him taking it too far, it made Brandy have to come outside and speak her piece. You know, she said, in the late 90s, I had a platonic friendship with rapper Shyne. In an unfortunate turn of events, that friendship now being mischaracterized as we dated unequivocally. We did not. I'm not sure why an untrue narrative about a scope of what was a friendship more than 20 years ago is being reshaped during his current media interviews. People telling their version of my story is why I am releasing my up-and-coming memoir, Phases. It's time to tell my truth and debunk many of the misnomers that people think that they know about my life. Additionally, I rarely release statements and typically ignore stories about me in the headlines, even when they're false. But when I do decide to stand up for myself, I handle things my own way. While I love my brother Ray J, I don't condone or support the message that he shared on social media and have not asked him to defend me in any form. Phases, March the 31st. Oh, man, that's crazy. That was a hell of a way to promote her book or her memoir or whatever she said it is. That's just, you know, I want to know. I'm going to close it out. What's your thoughts about that whole situation? Did y'all get a kick out of it? Did y'all laugh out of it? Was Cameron, Mace, and Shyne wrong for bringing up 25-year-old situations? That was just crazy. You know, real talk. That was just crazy to me in totality. Hey, let's switch the conversation up. I'm about to play one of my records off of my album. You know, It Was All a Dream. We're going to continue on with the conversation. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. I had to get me something. I came up from nothing. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. I had to get me something. I came up from nothing. I had to change my mental, upgrade my credentials. How a nigga came up, it wasn't accidental. Now monumental, more like legendary. A player never worry, bumping pop, Hail Mary, trapped off a Blackberry. Ain't contrary to your belief. I made it out them streets, don't acknowledge beef. Kept the play discreet, we too unique. On the winning streak, spent a couple racks at the boutique. I wouldn't change nothing, I'm always me. Never took a plea, nigga, you a flea. I'm your OG's OG, he called me for inspiration. Need a consultation, just make the payment for the conversation. If it's elevation or innovation, my expectation ain't limitation. You need a demonstration. My track record and reputation should be admiration. That's confirmation. I'm decoration for the trenches, off the benches, jump the fences, no penny pinching. We off the hinges. Hit the shot, my team winning. The series clinching. You niggas finished. Never timid. I've been a menace. No old dog, and every day is printed. Haters living 'cause my life changed. Should be happy, but you a real lame. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. I had to get me something. I came up from nothing.
Yeah. Go check out the record, man. You know, it's a playlist for Snake the Great's music on my channel. All of the music I've created throughout my whole career. It's a couple of projects, you know, I did with DJ Techniques, and a couple of them that you have to be a member to check out. And pretty soon, you know, when this next album drop, I'm going to make all of the music on this channel, you know, in a membership, because I got an idea that I want to share with a few creators about how to monetize your music better without using streaming services. People have access to it, but they got to pay for it because, you know, the creators need to get paid for their art. That's just my perspective. A lot of individuals think that they're paying the creator by downloading a monthly subscription to Apple Music or Spotify when you're actually paying the server. You're not paying the person whose music it is unless you purchasing it from iTunes or something like that. So I just want to see the artists win more. We about to get into a topic though. You know, Justin Timberlake. You know, my channel is a hip hop channel where I talk a lot about hip hop culture though, but Justin Timberlake used hip hop in a few ways to evolve his career. He collaborated with Jay-Z on some great collaborations. He did a fully produced Timberland album. He did songs with 50 Cent and T.I. around the time. Justin Timberlake is originally from Memphis too, so he's engulfed in the culture. But, you know, his come up came through NSYNC and, you know, being a pop star and all of that. Just recently, some footage was released. We about to play the footage. We're going to react to the footage. You know, I've had a DUI before. I want to give y'all my take on DUIs because it's a lot of people think that he was just having a drink and driving. It really ain't that serious. Let's get into the footage.
The reason for the stop is because you're keep veering off to the left, and then you're not stopping at the stop signs.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
What are you doing?
I'm on a world tour.
A what?
A world tour.
Doing what?
Hard to explain. A world tour. I'm Justin Timberlake.
What's your name?
Justin Timberlake.
You are Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
You have a license with you?
Yeah, I do.
Left foot on the line. Left foot on the line first. And then you're going to put your right foot in front of your left. Stay just like that. Okay? You're going to be heel to toe, like this. Heel to toe. Up. Put your left foot on the line. Yep. You're going to have your right foot in front of your left, heel to toe.
There. I'm a little nervous.
Left. Right foot in front. You're going to look down. Ready? 1, 2,
okay.
3,
Got you.
4. Like that, okay? Hang on. Let him tell you when to go. Let him tell you when to go. He's got to tell you when to start, okay?
Sorry.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Sorry.
No, I want to make sure. We want to make sure you do this right.
Right foot in front of your left.
Is this my line?
Whichever
Perfect, yep.
imaginary line you make, that's the line you're going to walk.
1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000.
All right, that's all good.
All right.
All right.
By the way, these are like really hard tests.
So the way this device works, you just put your lips over it and you blow into it like you're blowing a balloon. No?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. At this point, based upon the observations, you're under the arrest for suspicion of driving while intoxicated. So what I would do, just turn around.
Guys, come on, man. Like, I'm just following my friends home.
All right. Just turn around for me, please.
Hey man, a DUI is so embarrassing. I could tell he was guilty right when they pulled up on him with the body cam. He was flabbergasted. That boy was phone, man. He was moving slow. His reaction time was slow. Them tests is super hard, even if you sober. He looked at that blower and said, "Yeah." Justin Timberlake, man, that was wild, man, for you to be up the way you are and still driving. But what I want to say is that a lot of people don't deal with consequences early on in life. Like, I'm the same age as Justin Timberlake, but those circumstances and things that he's dealing with now, I dealt with them early on in life. I'm glad that the things that a lot of people may have to deal with in their 50s because they never got caught. Imagine that, man. You never get caught. You never get in trouble. And then you have to deal with what people dealt with in their youthful stage. A DUI is a serious situation, man. People can die from it. You can kill yourself. You can drive off the road. A car is worse than a gun with a drunk person behind it. A drunk person got a gun. He might shoot at you and miss. But that car is a bigger target. It's a strong weapon. You can be going 100 miles an hour in it while you funk. It's just a serious situation, and I don't think a lot of people take it as serious as they should. Because once you get that DUI and they put that breathalyzer in your car and they charge you $100 a month to put that breathalyzer in your car, and you have to deal with those fines and those times in court and the way you being treated and handled, man, it's a whole nother world that a lot of people don't want to involve themselves in. So I suggest people, man, don't go out and drink unless you have a driver. And if you do drink from home. At the age that he is now, I don't even drink when I go out and eat. I wait till I get home to have a glass of wine or whatever. I can't tolerate that, but I've experienced it before. So having the experience is one thing, and dealing with it later on in life is another.
You boys treat me like I'm a criminal.
I don't want to say that because, you're being arrested, so for a misdemeanor DWI, I don't like the culpable names, Mr. Timberlake, but we're just the situation that we're in, unfortunately, okay? I'm trying my best to treat you like anybody else, okay? I appreciate your cooperation.
Yeah, man.
A lot of people don't cooperate like this, so it goes a long way in my book. I appreciate it.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, happy to answer anything I can.
Is this the normal process?
Yeah, everything is pretty standard. Nothing of the ordinary. We do this for everyone that gets arrested for DWI. Is there anything specifically about it you are wondering, or just...
No. I just wondered, like you really cuff people up and like...
Yeah. You're in our custody. We have to make sure that people who we lock up here don't leave. You can't just leave. We gotta process you, everything like that. Your safety, our safety, things like that. It's just standard protocol.
Gotcha. I appreciate you boys for doing your job, man.
I ain't here to defend the police though, but it's certain people that don't think that certain things is a reality. Certain jobs. Is this how this really operates? Imagine pouring concrete on the highway and being a celebrity, going from doing shows in the AC with millions of dollars, doing anything that you want to, whenever you want to something as a dramatic change as that. Or being able to drink and move how you want to and fly and go wherever you want to. Justin Timberlake has lived a privileged life. And if that was his first time seeing the process and him not understanding the process, he's probably overwhelmed. Like, wow, is this really what's going on? Police officers, not to defend them and to defend them at the end of the day, they don't even want to deal with that process. They don't want to be there fingerprinting you, doing paperwork, listening to you being drunk. Who wants to be around a drunk when they drunk? I don't. I feel like police officers should get paid more than what they get paid. But he said they treating him like a criminal. Now, there's a lot of people, and I'm going to move along in the conversation after I say this. There's a lot of people that don't understand when they commit a crime, they're a criminal. You know, it's people that sympathize with the migrants, but they're committing a crime by coming over here illegally. America is a country with laws, rules, and regulations. You drink and drive, that's a crime. At that moment, you're a criminal. So you're going to be treated like one. And if you can't defend yourself when you're in a criminal state, that's your problem. You know, I'm a no nonsense type of individual, to be honest with you. It's hard for me to sympathize when people should know the rules, the laws, and the regulations. He got to experience that later on in life. And I feel like he'll come out on top. I want to see what he has to say when he addresses this. I want to see if he addressed this, and we're going to come back to this because this is interesting. You know, celebrity privilege is one thing, but we living in a time now to where celebrities is content. In my early days, celebrities got away with all type of stuff. Nowadays, you're used for content, for everybody to profit. The news couldn't wait to get that clip and those videos and things. I bet he tried to stop them from coming out and all of that, though. But, you know, I want to move along in the conversation. I'm going to wrap that on up, man. What's y'all thoughts about Justin Timberlake's police footage, him in the interrogation room and all of that? Just let me know y'all thoughts, and we're going to move along in the conversation. Appreciate y'all, man. I was looking at this podcast. I'm going to get the name of it for y'all here in a second. And they was talking about politics. And they was talking about Donald Trump. And they gave an interesting perspective. And it may seem like I'm defending Trump in some of the statements that I'm going to say, but I'm an objective individual, and I try to look at everything in both ways. Let's get to the clip, and let's see what these brothers got to say.
Trumpers, I just got a question. I know niggas don't want to talk politics, but it's cool. Y'all didn't get a wall. You didn't get the swamp drained. You didn't get affordable health care. You didn't get eliminated national debt. You didn't get a new infrastructure. You didn't get Hillary Clinton locked up. You didn't get Epstein accountability. You didn't get a 5K Doge check. You didn't get the 2K stimulus check. You didn't get lower grocery prices. You didn't get help buying a home or affordable home prices. They're going up. You did not get America first, and you did not get peace. We at war right now. What the fuck did you get?
You know, voting, first of all. People vote based upon circumstances. Politicians sell themselves based upon being aware of the citizens' circumstances. Getting is something that my mind doesn't even compute personally, because I've never received from the president. What I think the president's position is, and I took notes so I could be accurate in what I was saying. The president's job is to protect your rights. It's not to give you stuff. So they preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Their job is not to create jobs, not to fix the economy. Even though he ran on, when I was in office, the economy was better. We're going to fix the real estate market. We're going to make sure people 401ks. We're going to make sure that the stock market is at an all-time high. But I never believed the president in the first place. Their job is to enforce the law, lead federal agencies, appoint judges, signing and vetoing laws, and responding to threats, domestic or foreign threats that could impact citizens' freedom. So real talk, it's just to protect your freedoms. It's not to create opportunity. I feel like people have the wrong perception of what the president's job is. But Trump did sell that he was going to fix some things. Let these brothers cook a little bit more.
Hey, to say we made the wrong decision. I think a lot of people, again, they felt it was the lesser two evils, but we came up here and said, I said Elon Musk is not who he claims to be. Trump is not. These people are not going to save you. Like we always say, it's two birds, or it's on the same coin, right? They're a part of the same infrastructure. Their goal is the same. So thinking that he was going to do anything different, he didn't. He covered up for Epstein. He went over and invaded Iran. He did the Venezuela shit. He hasn't done anything really but wreak havoc and put America in a state of stress since he's came into office. And we're only a year and a half in?
They just knocked Cuba power out. They talking about Cuba's next. So we're going to have another enemy, which ain't doing shit to us. They just keep telling y'all these people is out to, man, I never even met nobody from Iran. The fuck is you talking about?
The only thing that is advanced is the military-industrial complex. That's it. The only thing that's advanced is the weapons that we have, that we're able to go, these kill switches that we got when we win the Venezuela and we're able to turn off everything, right? When we go into certain places, we're able to see through walls and track movement. That's what we're investing in. That's where American citizen taxpayer dollars are going to. If we're being honest, it's not going towards the roads. It's not going towards cheaper food prices. He's not changing anything besides us being more of a superpower. And even that is starting to backfire. Because I don't know if y'all just seen him talking about he wants to exit out of NATO.
I'm going to tell y'all something that a lot of people are going to disagree with right here. America will never be the same again. COVID was a transformational period in our life. If you lived before COVID and after COVID, it's over. Homes will never be the same prices. Food will never be the same prices. We living in a scarcity time. Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party, a lot of individuals viewed them as the evil party at the time because of what was going on. The economy wasn't good up under them. Millions of migrants was coming into the country, and I feel as if they was trying to replace black people with a different working class people and invest in them so they can have them as voters, because they said, we did this for y'all, now y'all do something for us. They was giving them money, giving them free places to stay, migrant. It was all type of stuff going on. And people voted based upon that alone. I think that Trump could get into office based upon his rhetoric to that. And the rhetoric that Kamala Harris and the Democrats were saying, that they was in defense of the people that was illegal. That was a blast in the face. The economy was decent up under Trump leaving out. It was decent. They was talking about how bad it was and how bad he had done so they could make it worse. It was worse. But to be honest with you, I don't feel like he done anything neither, though. I feel like Trump hasn't done nothing at all to help the people, like prioritize his own people. That's just my take. That's just my perception of it. It's certain things that he has done that if you're not knowledgeable about, you can't benefit from it. If you ain't playing the capitalist game, you ain't going to benefit from capitalism. Also, I like that he's investing in the military. I don't think that it's right to take natural resources from other countries and ethnicities and people. But, man, that's been an American way for eons. I can't hate on it. That's the way that this country has evolved and thrived for before my grandparents was born. So, I can't hate on it, but I feel like those brothers had a great conversation. What's y'all thoughts about this in the comment section below? We about to move along in the conversation, and I want to touch bases on, Future's kids. Future is a rapper that I like his music. I like his artistry a lot. He has a ton of kids by a ton of women. And it was a post that went viral that she posted up, and I want to read it to y'all first before I play the little audio clip. I don't have kids. I want to put that out there first. But I'm concerned about some things. Really concerned about some things. But let me read her post. So she says, just wanted to share something to raise awareness. I was in the kitchen cooking dinner for my kids when I heard this beeping sound. It felt like a warning, so I went outside. And what do I see? A guy in a white van with tinted windows backing up in my driveway. As soon as he saw me open the garage door, he took off running. He casually yelled, "Oh, sorry, wrong address." Like he didn't bother to check before pulling in. Seriously, keep an eye on your kids when they're outside. I'm glad I listened to my gut and went out. Usually I don't let Rain play outside alone, but today was one of the first times I did since her cousin is here for spring break. Lesson learned, never again. You know, I grew up in an era in Tennessee where I used to walk to the store that was 5 miles away, 6, 7 years old, dolo, and make it back home safe. We used to go to the basketball court a mile away, play kickball a mile away, go to the swimming pool a mile away, walk to school, run from dogs and all of that. Times have changed, man. You know, we don't talk a lot about kids being abducted. We don't talk a lot about organs being formed. We don't talk a lot about black folks and black girls and stuff being abducted. We living in scary times, man. And Future need to have a conversation with this lady. Like, times have changed. If you ain't got a fence around your house, man, them kids don't need to be outside playing by themselves. Real talk, dog.
Hello. Is that it? Oh, I'm sorry. Who is that? Yeah, sorry. How you in a white van backing up in my yard with kids playing around and you talk about sorry? Get your ass from around here.
He got the wrong address.
That's how kids get kidnapped. That man is.
Let's play that one more time. That looks spooky.
Hello. Is that it? Oh, I'm sorry. Who is that? Yeah, sorry. How you in a white van backing up in my yard with kids playing around and you talk about sorry? Get your ass from around here.
He got the wrong address.
That's how kids get kidnapped. That man is.
Man, I couldn't even imagine. That's all I'm gonna say. I couldn't even imagine if I had kids, like how protective I would be of them and how protective I would have to be of them living in the type of world we living in today. That man, you know, this is all an assumption, but what does it look like to y'all in the comment section below? That's what I want to know. What did that look like to y'all? Him backing up, talking to children. You shouldn't even have to have a conversation with them, period. What do you got to say to them? Nothing. In closing, protect your kids, man. Salute to that lady for coming outside right on time. In her message, she said she just felt something. She heard a beeping noise and she came outside. Because in this day and time, you can't trust nothing. Real spill. Hey, I know the podcast was short this week. I appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all go tap into the Jackson Boys live show. We about to go live and go viral and have a good time. Thank y'all for supporting me, man. Leave your perspectives in the comment section below. Peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure you go get you some money. And I'm gone. Chill.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.